Hey y'all, welcome back to 2 Minutes of Tea. Okay, before we get into the episode, just, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news, social media, all of that. We're in an election year. And while I'm not one of those people who's gonna tell you who to vote for, I am gonna tell you that there's only one option really. You can vote for democracy or for Cheetos. And let me tell you, Cheetos, they're not great for you. Okay, they taste good in the moment. They got the little dust in your fingers, you get to lick it off. But, over time, it does have ramifications. I think some of us are feeling them now, okay? So, just make sure that you are exercising your right to choose, that you're doing what you have to do to make sure that your voice is being heard, because, baby, it matters. It matters. Once again, it matters. Cheeto or Frito, okay? Yeah, we want to be free. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the show.
It's tea time with Uncle Twirl. Let me go grab my cup.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Season 3 of Tea Time with Uncle Twirl, where what's in your mug is your business. I'm your host, Uncle Twirl. Guys, we have a very special guest sipping and spilling with us today. I'm very excited. Supermom, master mentor, marketing maverick, and low-key comedian. MeShae Prophet is in the building, y'all. Yes!
Hi.
All right, look, cheers, my darling.
Oh, you gave me too much credit.
Clink, clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
Yeah. What you drinking on?
Oh my gosh.
This
Why
is
is this so good?
This is peppermint tea with wildflower honey. Get some wildflower honey in your life, y'all.
So I have lemon and ginger with hibiscus, and I'm so excited about the combination.
Fusion?
Listen,
Fusion?
the barista said I could have it, so here we are.
And there we are.
Here we are.
So how are you feeling today? You look good, honey.
I'm good.
You're glowing.
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm so excited to be here. I am glowing, and this jacket is also helping.
It's giving.
So,
it's giving. Yeah. It may go missing after we're done recording.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
That's
yep.
okay.
All right, so before we get into the interview segment, I want to play a few games, break the ice,
Okay.
loosen it up. The first game is called Sip or Spill.
Okay.
It's basically a this or that. I'm going to read some options. You're going to pick which one, you feeling the most.
Mhm.
If you don't want to choose, feel free to take a sip.
Okay.
Because maybe consent's important. We don't make nobody do nothing they want to do. All right? Here we go. Pink or green?
I'm gonna say pink. I don't know
Period.
when that happened, but I'm gonna say pink.
It's giving.
Okay.
Apex or Legends?
Oh my gosh, legends.
Period.
Apex just a little too small. And
Yep.
now that I think back, I don't know if it was wise to be in there. But
It was not wise. Also,
No.
some of the worst nights of my life at Apex. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
okay.
Heels or sneakers?
Oh, definitely sneakers. This listen, 35 plus. I don't have time. I can't do the click clack.
Yeah. My knee hurting right now.
Yeah.
Yep. Inflamed. Georgia Southern or Georgia State?
Oh, absolutely. 100% without a doubt. Georgia Southern.
Period. The real GSU.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't want to hear it again.
No.
Okay. I'm so sick of it. Every time I meet a friend that went to Georgia State, they're like, "You mean we were the real GSU?" I
Yeah.
say, "You weren't even open.
Let's just end it
You weren't
here.
there. Nobody was enrolled. You didn't exist.
It's not.
We love you though."
Yeah.
Cali or Atlanta?
Oh man. Okay, this one's hard. And I feel like I don't know. Okay, I'm just
Period. She don't want no smoke. Okay, not like us. Tacos or French fries?
oh. Okay, if it's Tuesdays, I gotta go with tacos.
Period.
But I could eat French fries any day, anytime. Any day, anytime.
Where are the best French fries from? I
It
feel like
depends.
it's a long debate.
So I'm not really a fast food French fries girly.
Gourmet.
I really prefer like hand cut fries. And so if I can get those, I'll take a curly fry. Yeah, I just feel like, really anytime, any place.
Yeah.
Anywhere except McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's gourmet. I'm not too good for the fast food, so maybe the Checkers be calling
Oh,
me.
I love some Checkers now.
The Chick-fil-A be calling me.
Yeah.
Wendy's slick. They done changed their recipe recently.
have.
It's kind of good.
Yeah, it
Slaps.
is kind of good.
But hand cut, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Baps or brown sugar?
It depends on the day, but brown sugar is my favorite, so I'm gonna have to go with brown sugar.
Period. Whitney Houston or Jasmine Sullivan?
Now, why did you do this to me?
I mean,
oh my gosh.
Both incredible voices.
Oh my gosh. I gotta go with Nippy. I can't not pick Nippy.
Yeah. We love you, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Martin or the Jamie Foxx show?
That also depends on the day, but I'm gonna go with Martin.
Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Oh, absolutely, Kendrick Lamar.
Period.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
Yeah.
Big Boy or Andre 3000?
Now, see here. I'm gonna have to go with Dre. Dre just has the little country twang that I love. I made a Facebook post the other day that said something like, everybody wants Morgan Freeman to be their like narrator of their life. No, give me Dre. I'll take Dre.
I'm into that. He does have a very nice, sultry voice.
And it's very country. And you know
Yeah.
I'm country.
Yeah.
And so like it just yes.
Maybe he could play the flute between the
Give me
interludes.
Dre.
I love that. He could play the intro and then start narrating. I'm into it.
He can. I would take a flute solo from Dre.
Sweet potato pie or red velvet?
Oh, sweet potato pie.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Look, you didn't sip too much, honey.
Okay.
You kept it gangster.
I wanted to sip, but not because of the answers. Yeah.
Okay, so the next game we're going to play is called Fix My Image.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, we have some clients here, and because you were at Shondaland, you may have some experience with fixing how to get away with murders potentially, and these people need your help. Okay, they don't know what to do. Okay, so let's see. First up on the client list, come on in. It's Drake. Okay, yeah. I don't know if you've heard, but he's been taking L's in the street. He's no longer like us, as they've been saying. And so,
has anybody seen my boy? I don't know. Is he?
He was recently at that rich party looking bad.
Yeah.
He looked like he aged 20 years, and I was like, baby, y'all stressing him out. I was all for the kiki, but now I'm like, oh, his health.
Come a long way since Wheelchair Jimmy, but that
So what could Aubrey do? Aubrey needs your help.
Okay, if I were Aubrey, if I
Yes.
were Aubrey's team, I think that being silent right now is his best bet. I think, to be honest, he's made some cultural missteps.
Big facts.
And so what he has to do is figure that out. And I think authenticity is best. So I always say, if you don't have anything good or authentic to say, don't say anything at all. So I'm frankly okay with Drake being off the scene for a little bit, because maybe then he will find a space to pop out. I just hope he pops out smartly. Wisely.
Yeah.
And does it in a way that's going to maybe buy back some of his street cred. But at this point, I don't know if his image is redeemable in this moment.
Take some time, do what she said.
Yeah, just hold off. It's okay. It's okay to not respond.
Yeah.
I wish we would do more of that. Just like be quiet.
Although
take your L's in silence.
Right. Although, Drake, I do want to thank you for bringing Kendrick out of what seemed like a retirement.
No, absolutely.
Because, baby, it's been chef's kiss. Baby.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Let's see. Okay, you can leave. Okay, next, let's see. Diddy. Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I don't even know.
Ooh.
Security?
Yeah.
I don't even know how he got in here. I apologize. That is.
I don't have
any.
I
am so sorry.
I don't have any advice for that man. Sorry to that man.
I apologize. Okay, next. Amanda Seales. Okay. She's like problematic bae for me. Because I like Amanda sometimes. I be agreeing with some of the stuff she's saying. But sometimes people just don't show me coming out,
Yeah. This was a hard one for me. And it's not that I dislike her. I don't know her well enough to say that I dislike her. Do I think that sometimes her takes can be problematic? I do. But I think, we all have to get used to not everybody liking us. And that's something that I had to grow into. And so I always say, if you're going to say it with your chest, or don't say it at all. And I feel like she says things with her chest, and unfortunately, she has to deal with the consequences. And so if she were my client, I think that's the advice I would give her. It's like, say those things you are ready to deal with the blowback from, because the blowback is coming.
It's coming.
And not everybody's going to like you. But if you are speaking truth to power, indeed, then you should be okay with that. And you shouldn't have to go on anybody's podcast and prove yourself otherwise.
Feel free to come on mine. Prove yourself otherwise, girl. Look, I was with you to that part. Okay, last client. Let's see. Jonathan Majors. He's in the building. Now, I don't know if you saw recently, outside of all the things he was dealing with in court, Michael Ealy kind of rolled up on Megan Good.
He absolutely did.
Swept her off her feet.
Yeah.
It was very romantical.
I mean.
Yeah. And Jonathan was looking tight-faced. I feel like he needs a better poker face.
Is it a poker face, or is it I don't know. I just felt like he almost got like stuck in the moment.
Big facts.
It looked a little like startling, and in my mind, I'm thinking, Megan Good is a beautiful woman. I'm sure she gets approached by people all the time. That just happened to be on camera. So, what are you doing otherwise? Is that a moment of jealousy, or were you starstruck? What was it? I think in this instance, there's nothing for Jonathan to say. Ultimately, Megan is his woman.
Period.
So hopefully, he's confident and cool. Now, Michael,
Hey.
I'm gonna just say, Michael, you can't be sweeping women off their feet like that, especially women who belong to other men.
Big facts. Okay,
So,
she was too giddy, giggling. She
it
turned around
was-
smiling. He was not smiling. Jonathan was like,
Yeah, it was like old friends, like that person you always had a crush on, but you didn't want to say nothing,
Big
and then
facts.
they came and you saw them, and then it was like butterflies all over again. I don't know.
yeah, Jonathan, you're not petty enough for me because I would have picked Michael up. I would have hugged him back, lifted him off his feet, kissed him on the cheek, been smiling. No, that's just me because you're not gonna make me feel uncomfortable.
No, seriously.
Yeah, we all gonna be uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is like that will repeat in his mind
immediately
for years.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're praying for everyone on the client
Yes.
list. Please
Prayers.
hit her up, okay?
Thoughts and prayers.
You need some help. All right. Next up, we're going to play Would You Rather. Now, this is one of my favorite games. I try to find some really good Would You Rathers, some philosophical stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, a little philosophy.
Oh,
you know,
Lord.
a
Do I
street
need to grab my
philosopher.
tea again?
I mean, you know, if you need it.
Okay.
All right, first up. Would you rather be the best player on a team that always loses or the worst player on a team that always wins?
Listen, I know my role, and I'm okay with being the worst. Please don't let me be. Okay, I won't say the player I was gonna say, but I don't want to be the best and we always lose. Let me sit in the background. Put me on the bench, coach. Especially if the check is for millions of dollars, I will take being the worst. I will go off social media so the people can't troll me. I will take it.
Period.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
You're not gonna hear from me. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, take a book out of Michelle Williams' book. Hey, baby, the check cash.
Play your role.
I don't
Play
care.
your role.
I know what I bring. Okay? All right, next up. Very good. Would you rather be able to understand all languages or be able to talk to animals?
I don't want to talk to the animals.
Bird
So
bitches
I
and
would
bird
take
niggas.
the languages. I would take the languages. I don't need to intermingle with the animals. I don't want to be at the zoo and understand what's going on. I'm all
That would be
good.
very sad.
Listen.
No, like if I was Dr. Doolittle, like in
Can
real
you
life, I would be
imagine?
devastated.
They like tapping on a thing, like get me out of here, girl.
You can hear
Like,
me?
Hey,
Please.
please.
They haven't fed me in days. Please. You don't want to know what the zookeeper does to me at night. Help. You know, because some of y'all need Jesus. Okay? All right.
That fish was 2 days. Oh no, I don't. My conscience can't.
Oh, okay. Would you rather know everything about the deepest parts of the ocean or know everything about the outer reaches of space?
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm taking the ocean
Mm-hmm.
because the ocean is finite.
Mm.
I don't want to know what's beyond what they tell us
Right.
from the spaceship. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll take the ocean.
I feel like you could beam me up, Scotty. I'm trying to see starships on space. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I would like to be there because I feel like we can't get there, and they clearly ain't come to us. But the ocean right here.
Are you sure?
Well, that's
You
true.
sure they're not coming up?
That's true because I slick saw an alien earlier on the way here. And like I feel like we see him every day. You just see some shit. You're like, that's not human. I know that's not human behavior, and this is what we do. Well, moving on. Yeah. Okay. Would you rather be a villain who is known by everyone or a superhero that nobody knows about?
Oh, I love the mystique of being able to be a hero and people not know it. I like that. I mean, I love the allure of just like going to, thinking like you going to bed at night and then creeping out because you got to beat somebody down because they was about to like rob somebody. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to court. You're not gonna know it's me.
Right.
Baby, you won't be pressing no charges. Now that they
Right.
sue. I've been done saved your ass. You know, you saved me from a burning building, but my cat died. Now you got to go. No, nigga,
Yeah,
why be in court? I thought I was
Right.
helping.
Hello.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. Would you rather be able to travel forward or backwards in time?
Oh, wait a second. So you mean if I go forward, I can't go back?
No,
I have
that's
to-
it. Yeah. Either we're moving along or we're spinning the
Okay,
block.
but if I go backward, then eventually.
I mean, eventually you'll catch up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll take backward.
Yeah,
then.
same.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm going back and investing in Bitcoin, Netflix, Blockbuster before they go, all of it.
I actually feel like, and I feel like a little people are gonna think differently about me, but
We don't care.
I feel like there are some seasons in my life where I would have cussed some people out or beat some people up, and so it would be nice to go back and handle that so
Big
that they would leave
facts.
me alone in the future.
Big facts.
Yeah.
There's a report I was reading that's been going around on social media about how like a lot of chronic illnesses linked to
Hello.
Black women's health is because of suppressed
We
emotions.
don't. We
And I'm
don't
like, that's
talk
crazy.
about.
And so I'm like, you better cuss these people out while you can. Okay, you'll feel better. I promise.
Absolutely.
Would you rather participate in a step show or have to sing at your probate?
So I've done both of these
Mm-hmm.
at different times.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think I would rather sing.
Period.
Yeah.
Voice of an angel.
Hello.
Get into it. Well, very good. Very good. Look, you made it those games so easy. You killed it. You're feeling good. You're feeling
Hey,
loose.
I feel good.
Warmed up.
That tea is so good.
Let me tell you something. We try.
The
You heard
tea
it here
is so
first.
good,
We try.
yeah.
All right. Now let's get into your business.
Okay.
I love to start all interviews with origin stories because I'm very
Mhm.
fascinated by origins. So let's talk about where you were born and raised and favorite childhood memory.
Yes. Okay. So I was born in Waynesboro, Georgia. It is South Georgia, about 15 minutes outside of Augusta, and I loved it. Like I'm a country kid through and through, and you can take me out of the country, but the country is gonna stay in me. So when I think about my origin story, I just think about like dirt roads and playing with my cousins and being able to go to both of my grandmother's houses. And I think one of my favorite childhood memories is actually with my parents. My parents are both blue collar workers, but I just think about being in the late 80s, early 90s. They didn't have a lot of money, but we would go on road trips to like Savannah and we would like pack the car with snacks and food and stuff like that. And it was just so much fun. And like, I think back on those things now, how I feel like I took it for granted a little bit because I grew up and then I started to realize like some of my friends had never been outside of the city or
Facts.
beyond Augusta or,
Mhm.
just like 30 minutes away. And so it was really a privilege to be able to do those things. Like we would take day trips to Charleston. I remember they would like save up all year for us to go on trips to Florida. And so like that's one of my premier childhood memories. And so we're already starting like vacation with Koa. Like Koa was on her first plane at 3 months.
Baby,
And so
flew it
like
out.
it's so nice to be able to do that for her
Right.
and give her those memories because I really do believe like time and energy and the quality of the time with your family and friends is like priceless and you don't ever get that back. So that's definitely my favorite.
And we were talking about this earlier with another guest. I kind of feel like your kids' opportunities are as big as their worldview. And like if you're not traveling with them and exposing them to new things and like broadening their horizons, like this is their scope.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can't really know about opportunities that you aren't exposed to.
Absolutely.
And also I think that's beautiful. And I mean, I agree with you. Like I born and raised in Atlanta, but my granddad had a farm in like Henry County.
See?
And so we used to go out there, milk cows, chase. It's just something special about that.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about digital marketing. Okay, what drew you into the marketing field? Did you always know that was something you wanted to do?
So no,
Okay.
it's not something I always knew I wanted to do. In fact, I went to Georgia Southern. Most people don't know this. I went to Georgia Southern as a journalism major because I worked at my hometown newspaper for 2 years.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm finna be on ESPN because I also love sports. So it was a little bit of like I wanted to do sports journalism. I got to Georgia Southern and I started kind of like exploring like people do at college. And I realized like, girl, this is not what you want to do. I don't want to be in nobody's locker room fighting for press. I don't want to be, like I just think about especially the climate back then about 10 years ago for women in sports. It was a little bit different than it is now. And that's not to say that the fight wasn't noble, but I just didn't have that fight in me. So I decided to switch and I ended up being a PR major, but I really just kind of fell into marketing. I remember the first tweet I sent back in like 2009. And I really like that was like a catalyst for me because being on social media and using social media as a marketing tool, I was there for it. I was there when it like
in the beginning
kind of came to life.
Right.
Yes.
Big facts.
And so now it's kind of morphed into this really cool industry like digital marketing. Everybody wants to be in digital marketing. But I love it because I am very much a people person. I love community. I love being able to talk back. And so I think for brands and companies, there's this opportunity to have a lot more direct access to your customers than there was in years past. And so it's a double-edged sword because sometimes they have a lot to say. But I think it's also important for them to be able to say, like, I'm not enjoying this product, or I don't like your policies about that, and then brands be able to adjust. So that's what kind of keeps me there.
It's been really interesting. To that point, recently, Tractor Co and Supply, one of the largest chicken feed companies, like they
Mm-hmm.
supply to like most of the farmers. Someone found out that they were donating money to Palestine. And unfortunately, in a lot of rural areas, those people are more conservative. And so they
Yeah.
started dragging them on Twitter. Like,
Oh
I'm not supporting this business.
no.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And Tractor Supply ended up like taking a step back from a lot of their DEI initiatives. Yeah, because it does,
Yeah.
to your
Yeah.
point, it's a double-edged
Yeah.
sword. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's a great way to communicate with your customer base, but they're going to communicate with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
And so,
absolutely. And I think consumers have a lot more information at their fingertips. So it's really important to stand on what you're going to stand on,
mhm,
and to know that somebody is going to have something to say about it. But again, if that's what you believe, right? That's what you believe. And so even think about Amanda, it's like you have to be grounded in something, and you have to know what you're going to go for and what you're not. And I think that that's like a major marketing step that people
mhm,
miss.
mhm,
A lot of
mhm.
people don't even think about how my values feed into like the way that I market or
Right,
who I'm marketing to,
right.
right? It's important to know your target audience. It's important to know what's important to them. Because while yes, people may be mad at you for giving money to something, that may actually draw more people to you because of your stance. And
Facts.
so I think again, it's just really figuring out which one do you want to lose?
Hmm, hmm.
What's more important?
I remember when Black Lives Matter was going on, and some people, Antifa, had burned
Uh-huh.
that
Uh-huh.
Target to the ground, and everybody was just like, "Oh, you can't be tearing up the community." And Target was like, "Burn it down. We don't care.
Yeah.
We're insured. Like,
Yeah.
we'll rebuild. We understand that righteous
Yeah.
anger." Maybe I went to Target and bought up a
Yeah.
storm. I did.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, absolutely. I
yeah.
just even Colin, like I remember Colin Kaepernick when he was kneeling, right? And everybody was so mad, and you got all these folks on the internet burning up the stuff they spent their hard-earned money on, right? And that's fine. That's your coins to ashes. But I went and started buying more Nike, right? Because
Immediately.
I was like, yes,
Yeah,
hello,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
Big
cool.
facts.
Because I put my money where I want to, and we all do.
Big facts. Okay, so we have been talking a little bit about branding.
Hmm.
And so, we all know image, perception, all of that matters. Do
Hmm.
you have any tips for creatives trying to market themselves in their work, or like do any brand expansion?
Yes, I have lots of tips. I think the first thing for creators is establishing who you are from the get-go, because it is a very noisy industry right now. There are so many people talking and telling you what to do. They're like, build a brand, and you need to be on LinkedIn, you need to be on Instagram, you need to have a website, you need to do all these things. No, first establish who you are.
Mm.
What makes you different? What's your competitive advantage? Treat yourself as the brand and the product you are. And I think really knowing who you are in a very noisy industry is the first step. Once you know who you are, then you can determine where you go,
Facts.
right? Because not everybody needs a $100 a month website. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on branding aesthetics. You don't need a $2,000 logo. You might just need to invest in a portfolio, getting some really nice photography, having digital, allowing people to have digital access to you. I think that's what I would say. And just really staying true to who you are. Because what I'm finding is that there are a lot of creators right now who are just following the trends.
Mm.
And there's a tricky thing about the trends, right? They change, which means you're going to constantly be changing in pursuit of those trends when you can just be yourself. And I think it's really important to find what is your bedrock, what keeps you stable, what is your foundation, sticking to that, and then the opportunities will find you.
Big facts. So in your line of work, you have to be
Mhm.
very creative.
I
And
do.
so I'm very curious of like what fuels your creativity. What are some of the things that inspired you when you first started in this industry, and what are some of the things that inspire you
Yeah.
now?
When I first started, I'll be honest. When I first started, I was looking for the money.
Period.
It took me a long time to get a big girl job, which is what I say. It took me 3 years. I didn't get, from the time I graduated college until like 3 years later, I didn't have a salary. And so I was doing internships, and I was just like really pursuing a lot of things.
Mhm.
Again, wasn't sure what I wanted to do, wasn't sure what I did well. I hadn't really even thought about how to market myself that way. And so I was definitely looking for the money, the prestige, all
The
the
status.
money, power, respect,
Period.
But now I just want the power and the respect.
Big
And
facts.
so I'm very discerning about which opportunities I pursue. And I've purposely built my life so that I have options in the event I need to quit a job, because I will quit a job in a heartbeat.
Big facts.
I'll give you my 2 weeks and be out. And it's no shade, no tea, pun intended. But I really am cognizant of where I am. And when my spirit is no longer thriving somewhere, I gotta go. And so what now drives me is it's the opportunity, it's the ability to live the life that I want to live, be it with flexibility, be it being able to stay home with my child, be it, being able to travel the world, whatever it is, that's what fuels me. And so, go ahead.
When did you feel those priorities shifting? I'm always curious, like, because I know, a lot of people say, as you get older, but I do think sometimes there are moments or catalysts for that. Do you remember when you were like, this is not actually?
Yes. So I think it was around the time that it was a few years into my LA move. So we moved to LA in 2017. Around 2019, I started to realize that the job I had moved there for wasn't really feeding my spirit. Now, I don't want to get all soft on y'all. I'm not saying that everything you do, you have to love and adore it, and it has to be like flowers and rainbows. But I do think that you should enjoy it to the extent that you are learning and earning. And so lots of people live by this principle, but if I'm not learning and I'm not growing, or if I'm not earning a good paycheck, then it's time for me to go. And when I'm not learning or earning, it's definitely time for me to go. And so I think that really shifted for me in 2019. And unfortunately, I quit a job right before the pandemic, which is to say, I believe I had to really shed some of those beliefs that I had about what work is and what life is supposed to be. And it really allowed me to determine what I wanted, and to really be bold and pursue that only, because I had opportunities. I remember I interviewed with Twitter, I interviewed with the NFL, I interviewed with the LA 2028 Olympics. The opportunities were lining up, but they just weren't coming through. And I'm grateful because I shed some of those beliefs that I had about work. And one of the most toxic was that whatever I was working or wherever I was working was part of my worth. And so that's when I really started that journey of untethering myself from my work being associated with my worth, because ultimately you have worth with or without a job, with or without a home, with or without a car, with or without hair, right? You have worth. And I think it's really important for us to establish that and know that, because we are living in very trying times, and you can have a job today and not have a job tomorrow. So if you're constantly being jerked back and forth by the world or by the economy or by the presidential election or whatever it is, you can lose yourself. And I told myself I was not losing myself ever again. So honey, I got down and dirty in that work. And now I can step away from a big job like Shondaland and know that it did what it was supposed to do for me, but that's no longer where I'm supposed to be, and be okay.
Right. First of all, I was about to get up and run. Y'all don't know.
Do it.
I was like, she in here preaching. I was
about to
start shaking in my seat. But what you said is like so profound, because unfortunately, to your point, we do live in a capitalistic hellscape.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of that influences our self-worth, like how we deem success, what we deem matters, how we deem like self-importance. And the truth is, like, all of that can be taken away. And you were saying earlier, a sense of self is so important. It is. You have to have a foundation to land on, because all of that can change in an instant. Oof, chills. Okay, I'm gonna read one of my favorite quotes by you. It says, nurturing your own gifts is more fruitful than attempting to replicate the gifts of others. I'm gonna read it again. Nurturing your own gifts is more fruitful than attempting to replicate the gifts of others. How did you discover the power of leaning into your own gifts?
I don't know. I think I've spent a lot of time like by myself. And for a minute, I watched like so many of my very closest friends like go off, and they were flourishing. And I was like, dang, like here I am unemployed, can't even go to Rocky Mountain because I can't afford to go to Rocky Mountain, right? So then it's like, what's going on? Like, what is happening to me? And I think I was pursuing things that really weren't for me. And so once I decided like I'm going to pursue that which I am skilled for and gifted in, the doors started opening. And I know that that's much easier said than done for a
Right.
lot of people
Right.
because, again, we live in a capitalistic hellscape. And so sometimes people pursue the money because they need to put food on the table or they need to help their families out or whatever. And so it's hard to kind of see between the right now and the far in the distance. And I live by the principle that, you know, you do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. But that doesn't mean that you lose sight of what you want to do. And so when I talk about like nurturing your own gifts, I don't need to be like anybody else to be successful. I don't need to do what Warren does to be a success. And in fact, I believe that we are more successful together when we do what we are skilled to do within our own gifts.
Facts.
And so, like, I hope that that frees people from feeling like they have to do what somebody else does or they have to do it somebody else's way, because we don't. We are all on our own journeys, and our destinies are our destinies. And I really just believe that when we do what we do well, the opportunities do gravitate to us.
They manifest like
Yeah.
seamlessly. An earlier episode we had Robbie Raw on, and he talked a lot about staying in your own lane. He was like, "Baby, stay in your lane." He said, "Because your lane is made for you." He said, "Because if you get in my lane, I'm gonna run you over."
Hello.
He said, "You're gonna get run
Hello.
over because it's mine."
Hello.
You don't understand the power of like
Yes.
being authentically rooted in self
Yes.
and purpose. Do you have any tips for people trying to find purpose, passion? Because I think sometimes like we kind of get lost in like, why am I here? The existentialism of it all. You know what I mean?
I'll also say I think we make it too complicated. I think we make purpose really complicated, and I don't think it's really meant to be that complicated. I think that sometimes purpose is just standing in what your role is. So like for me, right now, I'm in a new state of motherhood, right? I've been a mom for 2 years, and so I think really being the best mom I can be to my child is part of my purpose. I think building up my friends and being able to be in their corner and throw gas on their fire is purposeful, right? So it doesn't have to be some big, I need to save the world. I think it could just be like going out in the community, finding needs, and then filling those needs if you have the ability to do so. So if you are looking for purpose and looking for passion, I think it really starts with, what do you like to do? What do you love to do? What brings you joy? I think those are really good first steps, because then you can kind of sense, okay, I like these things. How can I do them better? Am I doing them well? If you feel really good about something, I really believe that's kind of like leading you into the space you're supposed to be to find that purpose in all things, in all roles.
And I think you need a level of flexibility.
Absolutely.
I think purpose, like you, will change. I don't think it's this one thing all the time.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes we try to be, I have to figure it out. I have to figure out the journey.
Yes.
Okay, the journey, honey, because it's not going to be the same.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful. Girl, all right. Let's talk about faith, honey.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. What part does faith play in your everyday life? Okay, can you tell me a time your faith was tested?
Oh, I have plenty of times my faith has been tested. I think faith is a big part of my life. It always has been. I grew up in church, in both Baptist and Methodist church. My daddy was Methodist, my mom was Baptist. Now they're both Baptist, thank the Lord. So church in general has been a steady. I think I've had to do a lot of purposeful learning and relearning and unlearning, just for my own sanity and for my own faith to grow, because you can't live off somebody else's faith. And so in my own pursuit of faith, what I found is that God meets me wherever I am. And so there have been moments in my life when I felt like I was so far off from what God wanted me to do, going back to purpose, right? But God found me and was like, no, this is purpose, right? Every season has purpose. Every opportunity has purpose. And sometimes an opportunity may come your way and it's not even for you. It's for you to pass along to somebody else. But there was still purpose in that. And so for me, faith is truly what grounds me in this day and age when I'm looking at the news, or better yet, scrolling past the news. It keeps me steadied in a world that is very much changing, that is always evolving, that is fickle and very unsteady. And so I think for me, faith gives me the sense to trust myself, to trust that I'm not just on this journey alone, that someone else is guiding me and moving me and directing me. And so that takes some of that pressure off of me too. Because I've dealt with anxiety and depression. And a lot of the times when I've dealt with anxiety and depression, it's because I was trying to take control of something that I had no control over. And so once I was able to free myself of the need to control it, it's like everything just started to roll out. And so I'm in a season now where I literally wake up and I'm like, okay, God, what are we doing today?
Amen.
Because I have that much confidence that I'll be led to what I'm supposed to be led to. And so I'm just saying, when I think about faith, it doesn't have to be some, big, massive Bible thing. It's really just trusting that what is supposed to be yours will find you, that it will not miss you, and that it's okay to be frustrated in the wait, but don't lose sight in the wait. Don't be moved by the wait. Just wait.
I hope someone's taking notes because I'm gonna need all of that. Do you have any tips for people who are looking to approach their life from a more faith-based perspective? Like someone who's like, I want to work on my relationship with God. I want to feel more aligned with like a higher power. I want to be closer, to the source.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say this. Don't discount God because of his people. That's the first thing. Because I think a lot of us have dealt with losing confidence in church or the establishment of the church. And I'm not going to go too deep because I don't think we need to. But I will say that you and your journey is yours. So you have to find what fits you. It might be a church body. It might be a church community. It might be a faith-based community. It might be a congregation of your friends. Whatever works for you, works for you. I believe in Jesus the Christ. I believe that he died for my sins, but that's me, right? And so I'm going to find a faith community that believes those same things. And so you have to find what works for you. When we start out on that journey, though, I think it's important for us to know what we're looking for out of it, because some of us go into it believing that it's going to magically make our lives better. Does it make your life better? Yes, but it does take some work, and it takes some some spiritual journeying, which isn't always easy. And a lot of times people can become frustrated by that or disappointed in it, if I'm being honest. And so I think it's really important to know what you're wanting to get out of it, and to just pursue that. And don't discount God because of his people, because people can be mean, people can be judgmental, people can be exclusive, and God is not exclusive. I don't believe God to be someone who would push us away, right? The Bible tells us that we can lay all our burdens on God, and I don't believe a God who will bear your burdens will push you away. I don't care what your burden is. And I believe that not death nor life can separate you from the love of God. And so if you just hold on to that, I believe God will lead you to the community you need to be in.
And that's on Big P, because at the end of the day, it's about a personal experience, a personal relationship. It's not about other people, what they think, how they feel, because they can't help you,
and they don't have anywhere to put you.
Hello.
Period.
All right. Before the spirit takes, I feel it. I feel the R&B ghost on me. I feel the R&B. I can hear Kelly Price. Okay. How has motherhood changed the way that you view yourself in the world? How has it impacted the way you create?
Ooh. Oh, this one's okay. I'm gonna try to do this without tears.
Okay.
I am someone who I went into motherhood with trepidation. I was not one of those people who was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get married and have kids and do all these things. I was like, baby, you might not get a baby out of me. And then my husband and I were at a point in our lives where we were like, well, if we're going to do it, maybe we should do it now. Just thinking about all the things that they say about women as you get older, you need to have the baby by 35 and all that jazz, right? But I was still very, very, very much terrified of both pregnancy, of labor, and raising a child in this capitalistic hellscape. So for whatever reason, the trepidation started to leave, and I started to consider it. And thankfully, we were in California, which is very progressive when it comes to maternal health and women's safety as it relates to pregnancy and labor. So I felt good about that too. And I knew that was God, because how you take me out of my home state, away, far across the country where I don't have a family member, to have a child and then move us immediately right back. Either way.
Hello.
Um,
Sometimes you gotta change your surroundings to
yeah,
get you.
you
Hello.
do, you
Hello.
do. And I believe again, if you let go of control, God will put you where you're supposed to be, so you can do what you're supposed to do, and then He'll bring you back where you're supposed to be.
Big
So
facts.
either way, motherhood, being mom to Koa Camille Prophet, is the joy of my life. It's frustrating at times because I'm also a recovering control freak. And so what motherhood makes you do is it makes you take your hands off the wheel, because you cannot control another little person. You cannot, right? And I want her to be independent, and I want her to have a mind of her own, and I want her to feel confident in her beliefs. And so that makes me know that I have to let her be, right? I can guide her, but ultimately I cannot shove her into any particular space or lane. So as it relates to creativity, I now believe and know that there's not anything that I can't do. Because if I can go from being terrified of bringing a child into the world to now being 2 years into motherhood and I'm rocking it, I'm like, okay, girl, there's nothing you can't do. And
Facts.
the belief that my child has in me or shows on her face, it just brings me so much joy. And it's almost like a fuel to keep going, because I'm like, no, I need to show her she can have anything she wants. I want her to believe in herself and believe in her gifts and know that she doesn't have to look like anybody, sound like anybody else, be like anybody else to be successful. And so that's just been a beautiful journey for me. And it's amazing how something so small can teach you such a big lesson.
Facts.
You know? But I feel like I'm the most creative now than I've ever been in my life. There is a passion project that I'm working on that just brings me so much joy. And I don't know that I would have ever pursued it had I not had Koa. Like, seriously.
You know what's interesting for me? It's almost like seeing yourself through your child's eyes changes the way you see yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's different from, like, you know, you see your parents believe in you and your friends and your community believe in you, but there is nothing like a child that barely knows you, right? Seeing you and trusting you. And I guess it maybe is because, you know, they've watched you nurture them and take care of them and do all these things for them. So then they're like, oh no, my mommy can do that.
Yeah.
You know?
You can do anything.
Yeah,
Baby,
you can do anything.
You're sustaining me.
Hey.
I'm here. I'm fine.
Right.
I can't tell.
Right.
Yeah.
So she definitely is like a fuel for me.
One of my favorite things about social media is moments of authentic transparency. You are very transparent on your platforms, whether it's like marriage, life, motherhood. Where does that bravery come from?
I don't know. I don't know. I just, honestly, I don't know that I have any other choice. I believe that the way God wired me was just to share. And so I do believe that people overshare. And I don't believe that anybody is necessarily like privy to my personal information. But I also believe that you can live a private and discreet life without, you can live an authentic life and also live a private and discreet life. So I don't have to share every aspect of my life, but I can share enough so that if someone else is going through something similar to me, then they know they're not alone. And a lot of times I just share for accountability's sake because, like, for example, my hair, right? I've been dealing with some immune system things. And so my hair started coming out and I couldn't understand what was happening. I had to have blood tests done, had to go to specialists and all those things. And like, you know, some of my friends, they gonna ask, girl, what's going on with your hair? So it's like, I might as well just share with the world to say like, yeah, I'm losing my hair, but I don't care. Cause wigs just don't fit me. I don't know how y'all do it, but big ups to the ladies who can do the lace fronts. Cause it ain't in me. So I'd rather just have this spotty scalp, right? And so when you see my pictures, you might be concerned about me or, you know, thinking like, dang, what's going on with MeShae? And I want y'all to know I'm okay. I'm okay. I just need to eat a little bit better. But like, that's why. Or, you know, after having a child, how it can rock your relationship. My husband and I were married for 8 years before we decided to have a child. We also were dating, how many years before that? So many years before that, right? And so it had just been the two of us. And I always like think about how like our relationship has shifted. And sometimes people go through that, but they don't know that other people are going through it. So I don't want you to just abandon your marriage because it's a little rocky, right? I want you to know that other people are going through similar circumstances, but you can work through those things. So that bravery, I think, is just really out of a desire for people to know that they're not alone.
And I would love to believe that, like, when people were first creating social media, that was the intent, to bring us together, to make us feel more connected and not divisive, right?
Yeah.
Which a lot of that has been happening nowadays. But I think it's something really beautiful about vulnerability. It allows other people to be vulnerable. It allows
Absolutely.
other people to feel less alone. It's essential for like building
Yeah.
community. But also, I always, my prayer is like, even when I'm creating content or thinking about intention, is like whatever I'm doing that's supposed to reach somebody else, if it reaches them, makes them feel less alone, makes you feel like seen or like part of something, like that is a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly think that is the purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Period.
That's the word.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. And I think, you know, the more authentic we can be to ourselves, the more brave we can be, the more courage we can have in sharing our stories and our journeys. I feel like that frees the rest of us, because I like to believe that a lot of us are living very repressive lives because we're ashamed of actual gifts that we have, right? So if I was ashamed of my hair, if I was ashamed of some bumps in the road that I may have had in my marriage, or ashamed of being terrified of being pregnant, I feel like, you know, that might harm somebody else. It's harming me, right? Because I feel like I have to cover all those things up. I have to repress that, and I don't actually.
I think fear is an interesting thing. One of the few things I'm really, really grateful that the military taught me is you can do things afraid.
Yes.
Fear does not have to stop you.
Hello.
It is just an awareness, it's a feeling, it's an emotion that you can take and move through it. Like you can do hard things, you can do things when you're afraid, you can still be afraid and accomplish so much. It does not have to be a barrier.
Absolutely.
Take it with you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. No, I just feel, you're saying some things and I'm like, Kelly, get off me. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Shondaland, just really, really briefly. So how was your experience working there? Like, we all know the giant that is Shonda Rhimes, that is Shondaland, but very few people get to be in Shondaland. We all fans, but like to be in it. I used to work for a company that black woman was the CEO. She ran the ship, and it was a very, very, like, I had never worked anywhere like that. Like, it was so, like, interesting and community based, and just to see like the diversity, like instead the way like we didn't have to talk about certain things, like I didn't have to worry about certain microaggressions, just different things like that. And so I'm curious to see like what that experience was like and how having a black woman as the Capitan was like impactful to the work.
Yes. Let me just say that I sometimes still, and I left Shondaland in March, but I still sometimes am like, this is my life. This is my life. I actually work there because I applied on Indeed. I applied on Indeed. So let me just tell
Shout out to Indeed.
Don't miss your blessing trying to find something that, like, you never know where it might be. Okay. Working at Shondaland was truly a once in a lifetime experience. Personally, because I was not necessarily pursuing that. I didn't go to LA thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to work in Hollywood. It was not really on my radar. I found a job that fit my skill set and I applied. So when I got there and I got the job, for me, it was like a wonderland, truly. And I will say this, I will always admire Shonda Rhimes. In my mind, she is a gift to this generation simply because the way that she uses her talents, not just to entertain, but also to empower and to educate and to edify. And so for me, Shondaland was a beautiful experience. I was given so many opportunities to grow, so many opportunities to lead. I'm just really grateful for that experience in my life. And I will say this, I've gone on record many times in saying it is one of the best jobs I've ever had to date. So my leaving came a little bit as a shock to many people because they were like, well, if it's good, girl, why are you going? Right? And it's because I know when I need to go. And I'm always sensitive to that. I've always been sensitive to that. And I had hit kind of a growth stall. I just wasn't able to pursue some of the things that I wanted to do personally and professionally. And so I felt like it was best for me to step away, which I did on good terms. I miss my coworkers. I miss the team that I built. I miss being in all the Bridgerton hoopla, which, you know, that is a fandom in itself that I will always like take energy from, because people get really passionate about certain things, but I've never seen a fandom as passionate as Bridgerton
Yes.
fans. So I think working on the inside really is a testament to Black women and the power that we have and the things that we can build, and the way that she's just been able to give voice to Black and diverse creators. The way that she has empowered her team internally and externally to just create, I think is just beautiful. And I really am excited to see where Shondaland goes from here on out, because I think there's so much more for Shondaland to do, from documentaries to films to more TV. I'm just really looking forward to it. So it was a beautiful experience for me, and I'm grateful for my time.
Big facts. Like, I think one of the like biggest like things why Bridgerton and other works that she's done are so big. Art can change you, right?
Yes.
I think for me, anytime I see like really powerful art, I look in and then I look out. It makes me reflect in and then look back out the world.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me like, one, think about myself differently. Like, I didn't know I could be in these spaces. I never saw myself
Yes.
in these arenas and these
Yes.
period pieces. And then you kind of look back out and you see a world that is like growing and changing and becoming more beautiful. And so keep making that kind of art.
Yeah.
Like, keep creating that kind of stuff. Like, it matters. It is impactful.
Yes.
So as you move into your next chapter, darling, what are some key takeaways you're taking with you? What are some things you're looking forward to? You know, is there a title for the next chapter?
I don't know if there's a title. I feel like, if anything, I'm just like, I'm catching my second wind. I feel like I spent so much of my career so far, I've spent a lot of my career feeding into other people's dreams. And now I'm like finally taking the moment, the courage to build my own dream. And so I'm really shaping what that looks like right now. I think that this is the project that I'm working on is really about legacy and people standing proudly in who they are. And so I think it's second wind. I think I'm looking forward to just creating without limit. I struggled at first to see myself as a creator or a creative, because I feel like, you know, for a while, okay, creatives have tangible art. Right. So I need to be
They
a
look a
painter.
certain kind of way.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I need to be a painter. I need to have some kind of like thing I can feel. And it's like, no, creativity and being a creator is just about creating a product, creating a website, creating whatever it is. It doesn't have to be something tangible. But it's just about using your creativity and the muscles and gifts you have, to be able to put art out into the world, whatever form that is. So yeah.
Period. Creative extraordinaire, MeShae Prophet. Last question.
Yes.
Before you get out of here, please give me a question to ask the next person I interview.
Ooh. I think you've probably asked this question before, but if money was no object and you could do and be anywhere in the world, what would you be doing?
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, because we live in a capitalistic hellscape, that's the word of the day. Money can be a barrier to a lot of things. And so that kind of freedom is the goal.
It is.
Big facts. Guys, look, MeShae's got to get out of here. Thank you so much for being here for Tea Time, Sipping and Spilling. You have really dropped some really beautiful gems. I know I was impacted. I know you guys are reeling from it, like feeling really good. Where can the people reach you? Is there anything coming up that we should be on the lookout for? Like, if people want to connect, what's the tea?
If you find me from Uncle Twirl, then you can absolutely follow me on Instagram at s.meesh, ESSDOTMEESH. It's a private Instagram, but I would happily invite the Uncle Twirl family to my Instagram feed. You can always find me on LinkedIn, MeShae Prophet, MESHAE PROPHET. And yeah, just keep an eye out. I got some things I'm working on. They're still in the crock pot, but they'll be out soon. So
baby, you're gonna come back.
Yeah,
look,
I will.
Once the food is ready, we want to be served.
Okay, well,
we want to be served. Okay, we want to plate.
I'll be back, y'all.
You guys know you can follow me on all social media platforms at Uncle Twirl. That's Twirl with an E. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. MeShae Prophet, ladies and gentlemen. And like I always say, y'all, feel free to spill the tea, but don't be messy. Bye.
Bye.